Well, hello, thank you. I'm delighted to be here. I have changed a little bit the order of my presentation. I personally come from Brussels, and it's the capital of chocolate. Today is not a good day in Brussels, but anyway, it's the capital of chocolate. And just to get you in the mood, I'm going to present you a little video about Brussels and chocolate, and about one of my favorite chocolatiers, who is Marcolini. There are many, many, many. We have 500 in Belgium, but Marcolini is very well known. And here we go. So I'll let you watch this.
Brussels, the capital of Belgium and home to more than 1 million people. For many, it's also the world's chocolate capital. The Place du Grand Sablon is lined with the shops of nearly all the country's top chocolatiers. Among them, Pierre Marcolini. He gives us a warm welcome at 8 in the morning. Pierre keeps a busy schedule. This afternoon, he'll be off to Paris for a TV interview. But first, it's time for breakfast. Chocolate, of course. Marcolini says he eats a bar's worth every day.
I always tell people, when you eat our chocolate at home, take out a piece and put it down somewhere. Then close the packet and put it as far away as possible. Then go ahead and eat your piece. And if you don't do this, you'll eat the entire packet. This is mainly milk chocolate with a bit of caramel and butter. It's absolutely addictive.
C'est très addictif comme ça.
This is the second time we've met Pierre. We take a look at the report from our first encounter. Pierre has always been something of an enfant terrible in the culinary community. By the time we met in 2007, his experimental creations had already won him many accolades, such as World Pastry Champion. Today, he's considered one of the world's best chocolatiers. His creations are sold in dozens of specialty boutiques from Hong Kong to New York. We set out for a tour through the Sablon district. It's a true insider's guide. All of his favorite spots are in this neighborhood. Notre-Dame du Sablon is a lovely example of Gothic architecture dating back to the 15th century. Right next door is the Petit Sablon Park, an oasis of calm in the midst of the bustling city. The district is a paradise for shoppers looking for a special keepsake. Nearly every corner has an antique shop, gallery, or specialty boutique. Like Au Grand Rassoir, one of Pierre's favorites. There's an unmatched selection of straight razors and shaving kits from around the world. A perfectionist himself, Pierre appreciates the quality on display here and the owner's expertise. Next, we pay a visit to the gallery run by Patrick Mestard, which sells traditional artifacts from all over the world. Just a few days ago, Pierre bought a 200-year-old wooden spear, a wonderful example of the craftsmanship he values so highly.
This is what Sablon is all about. There are so many unique things here in places like the shaving shop and this gallery. There's an excellent selection everywhere, with knowledgeable advice.
The Atomium is a popular tourist destination, as is the European Parliament. But we keep going. Pierre wants to show me more of his neighborhood. This building is another favorite. It's named Old England. The Art Nouveau building is more than a century old. Once a department store, today it houses the city's musical instrument museum. This luxury car dealership has a surprise in store, an in-house bar and bistro. Called Why, it's the latest project by Michelin-starred chef Bart de Potter. It's a place to get a quick bite without skimping on quality.
Santé, santé.
Pierre is a frequent guest here.
Voilà. La nourriture, ça fait partie.
Food is an important part of everyday life. I enjoy a good meal just as much as I enjoy a new chocolate.
Le plaisir de découvrir un nouveau
And
chocolat.
I know how much work goes into it.
Je sais tout le travail qu'il y a derrière ça.
It's 2 in the afternoon. When we're done with lunch, Pierre Maccolini will leave for his interview in Paris. It's all in a day's work for one of the world's most sought-after chocolatiers from Brussels.
So now that we're in the mood, I'm going to jump from one subject to another, so don't mind me. It's going to be all over the place. Thank you. So bonjour. Thank you for having me here. As Lola said, I work very, very closely with Marioga, Lola, and their team, and I'm delighted to be here today, and I'm delighted to tell you how absolutely enchanted I am with the work they do. So, I'm going to talk to you here about translation services at CCO. CCO is where I work. I'm going to give you a few things about CCO so that you know what we do. And then I'm going to talk to you in details about the power of chocolate. Because at work, I always have chocolate next to my desk, and everybody comes along once a day. We just need a little chocolate. Yes, we do. A few words about CCO. Who is CCO? What do we do? CCO is the Ontario government's advisor on the cancer and renal system. And the acronym, it's not an acronym. The name is CCO. We just changed our brand. We also look after access to care. So 3 things: cancer care, renal systems, and access to care. We drive continuous improvement in disease prevention, in disease screening, and the delivery of care to the patient and the patient experience in chronic diseases. So CCO is known for innovation, that's where we come in, and evidence-based approaches. We direct and oversee approximately $1.5 billion in funding for hospitals and other cancer and chronic kidney disease care providers. We have about 1,000 staff members, and I'm going to share with you very briefly the vision and the mission, because this is going through all the work we do, especially in translation as well. So the vision is to work together to create the best health system in the world. Nothing less and nothing more, just that. So that is present at my desk every day, because that's how we work. And our mission statement is together will improve the performance of our health system by driving, and these are the important words again, which we apply every day: quality, accountability, innovation, and value. So innovation is a very important concept in what we do. I'm in charge of French language services at CCO. We are designated by Cabinet to provide services in French. That means that all the key services need to be provided to the public in French. That includes everything that comes through CCO, the website, everything we do, we have to do it in 2 languages at least. Now I always go to this: I speak Spanish to God, Italian to women, French to men, and German to my horse. Because we need, and that was said by Charles V, because actually, like I said, we don't only do the French translation, we are mandated by the government to do that, but we also now add all kinds of languages, and we are helped very, very efficiently by multi-languages, and we are very pleased with the services that you provide. It's not always easy, I will tell you. Okay, now here, these are the 2 things that I would like actually to ask you at each table, maybe to take 1 minute and to tell me What is more important to you? Is it perfection or is it excellence? Because I have a preference here, and that's the one I strive for every day. But let me hear from you. Maybe you want to take a minute and tell me, one per table, what you think. What is more important in your life?
Excellence.
Excellence? Yes?
I believe if I'm doing excellent work, the practical good works come in it.
Exactly. Yes. Anybody else? Have you chosen one?
I'm a perfectionist.
You're a perfectionist.
But that's just
Well, let me continue. I made the difference between excellence and perfection, and we do that every day in our work. I strive for excellence in what we do, and certainly by working with your team. And I compared a little bit the definitions, and excellence is to perform a task in the best possible way. Whereas I found the definition for perfection is definitely 100% the right way of doing anything. Excellence is to attempt to be better than one already is, and that's what we strive for at CCO as well. Perfection is to entail one's being better than everyone else. Excellence is attainable, I think it is, and worth striving for. Whereas maybe perfection could sometimes be a fantasy, maybe not, I'm just saying. It might be unattainable, I don't know. It's possible or not, I'm just not. And when we strive for excellence, we want to be, we are willing to be wrong in what we do. And I'm willing to be wrong in what I do at work and to get better. And sometimes in translation work, it happens that we are wrong for something and we have to admit it. But if we are too perfect, then we are always right. So I'll let you think of that. This is just what I'm thinking. Pardon me?
well, sorry. I was sharing with my table that as a translator, I cannot afford not to be perfect every time.
Yes, but it's a challenge to be perfect. We can discuss that. Yes, it's a big challenge. And as you know, and we have a lot of discussions about Word, about how it should be translated. We have various pockets of population. We have the patients, we have the health providers. So the way we translate, or you translate, and the way we transfer this translation is always different. And as you know, the word is the tip of the iceberg. There is, under the word, there's a whole culture. And we need to respect the culture. Even in French, you know, we discussed that, and I'm going to give you a little example. We had a wonderful translation made, and we sent it to one of the region, which I'm not going to name, but one of the region, because we have cancer centers everywhere in Ontario. And I got a very irate phone call saying these words are not said that way in our region, and that's how it's going to be corrected. And so there were about 10 corrections, of which 9 were mistakes. So I got increasingly angry, and we did discuss that. And of course, you know, there are many ways of saying the same thing. We all know that, and the right word is very important. However, it has to be consistent. And we cannot go with all kinds of different words. I come from Belgium, and in Europe the French is different anyway, so I mean... and that will bring me to this next little exercise. The meaning of the words. And you know that better than I. You are in the field, so I don't need to tell you that. But I just wanted us to reflect on that a little bit, that the same word can be differently interpreted, and obviously it is. And communication is a big challenge and not easy to achieve. It certainly is not. I work for the communications department at CCO, so I know. So I want us to play for a few seconds. You each have paper on your in your binders, And I would like us to take one word, and I'm going to give you one. We can take any word, but I'm going to give you one. And I would like to know how many interpretations of this word you can find. We have found about 10, I think, or 12. We'll see after. And the word is fast. Fast. So what does it mean? How many interpretations? Let's take maybe a minute and see what you come up with, and then I will let you know what I came up with.
No English. Not in your Oh, I assume. Oh, okay. She said there's so many things. No. You can think of a Russian word.
All right. Who has 12 meanings? Why are you laughing? You don't? I do. Who has 10? 9. I don't know. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4, 2.
I'm 11.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. And 1, I hope nobody. Okay. So, let's go. A person is fast when he or she can run quickly. Yeah. Colors, pardon me?
Fast thinker.
Fast eater, yes. Yes.
Fast
Colors, pardon me?
Fast thinker, fast horse.
Yes, absolutely.
Then we have quick, rapid, be able to move. Sorry. No, she's a different.
I'm not finished. Look, we have 12. Colors are fast when they do not run, right? Oops. One is fast if she or he moves in a suspect company. Oh, this guy is fast. A racetrack is fast when it's in good running condition. It's a fast racetrack. A friend is fast when he or she is loyal. It comes from the Oxford Dictionary, it's not my a watch is fast when it's ahead of time. To be fast asleep. To be fast by, this one I didn't know, I found it. To be fast by is to be near. To fast is to refrain from eating, of course, we know that. A fast is a ship mooring line. I didn't know this one either. Photographic film is fast when sensitive to light. And bacteria are fast when insensitive to antiseptics. So etc., etc. I think the Oxford Dictionary had about 15, but I didn't have more space, so that's about it. So all that to illustrate that, you know, when we discuss a word, well, it could be all kinds of things. And you know it, like I said, better than I do. But it is so important in the work I do, where I am, to have the right word in the right context. Very often I receive on my desk one sentence. Could you please translate it right away? We need it in 5 minutes. The answer is no. Because I don't, first of all, I'm not a translator, and I could call Maria Olga very quickly, but there is no context. How do I know? It could be 12 of these, I don't know. So my answer is always the same now. I don't know. I can't. Sorry. And to say no for me is very difficult, but I have learned it. So that's how it happens, you know. It's alors, un petit je ne sais quoi très vite, très vite. But then we try very kindly to say, pas de problème. Yes, we'll do it. And then we get into some of the communication challenges. It happens. And the way I try to communicate with the company is to convey and to understand, first of all, the requirements. That's exactly what I said a few minutes ago. If I don't know the context, I can't. I don't understand what you need. We ensure that the original request is extremely clear, and you would be surprised how sometimes it's not. I need to know in what context it is, and before I can really ask a translator to take the text or to help us out. And then I try to communicate very clearly with Mary Olga and her team, and talk about the timeline, of course, the language level, and the format. The format is really something where we had a few issues, because the format changes, and then it comes back from revision, and then it's impossible to edit again. But we have found a solution for that as well. So once the translation is received by CCO, by my office, all of a sudden, I receive sometimes, not always, sometimes, I receive all kinds of revisions, or edits, or we deal with other demands. And then here I am having to call multi-languages and having Maria Olga and apologizing and saying, you know, I really don't know what it's. We're not talking about a few lines, we're talking about very large documents. Well, page 5 has to be changed that way. It's already a PDF. It's already, and sometimes, and I have to say that the patience that I encounter, I will never forget, because it does require a lot of patience, a lot of work, and a lot of rewriting. And that's what I wanted to say about that. I mean, I could speak hours about it. But you know, communication to me is extremely important. It's important over the phone, it's important to, when you meet someone, to listen to the person, to see the body language and all that. And I'm going to give you a little tiny story, and I want you to give me the answer to that. It's going to be very easy for most of you, but so maybe not for everyone. Here's the story. Two moose are sitting on a log together, and they are talking about baseball. The little moose is the big moose's son, but the big moose is not the little moose's father. How is that possible?
The mother.
Everybody? No? Too easy. You would be surprised how many people say, I have no idea, that's impossible. Because the wife, of course, is the mother. But the thing is, because we don't and we do not listen. And I have noticed that many times we do not listen. And more we listen, more we know how to communicate, more it makes my life easier when I communicate with the translators, and vice versa. So I could stand here and speak to you about communication for another hour and about all the challenges we go through, but I'm not going to do that to you. I am going to talk to you about chocolate. Because when we have all these communications problems sometimes,
We need a chocolate.
we need to remain very calm. And so we each are going to have a little sample of the real praline, which we
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
So do you have a word?
Take off.
So we are not so all that chocolate is because when we have communication issues, I say to everyone around me, please have a chocolate and let's discuss. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Belgian chocolate because
Chocolate are very nice.
no, there's no chocolate and in a moment I'm going to tell you how to eat it because there is a way to eat it. Okay, let me continue. Okay. Now, I come from Belgium and I'm very, very proud of the chocolate we have in Belgium. But why? Why is Belgian chocolate so different? And it is. Believe me, if I taste chocolate, I know exactly if it's a Belgian chocolate or not. Because Belgium and Switzerland, for that matter, are the only one who can use legally the term chocolate if the products contain cocoa butter, cocoa solids, sugar and milk. If not, it's not called chocolate. Today in Belgium, we have 172,000 tons of chocolate products. And each year, and then we have about 500 manufacturers, and we have 2,000 specialty shops in Belgium. And Belgium is a very small country. The average annual sales equate to 8 kilos of chocolate by head of population. The unique taste and texture of Belgian chocolate is due to several factors. The higher than average cocoa powder content, about 43%, which is much more than anywhere else in the world. The longer blending process. I remember when I was a little girl in Belgium, we went to the Côte d'Or factory and we saw these huge things where they were blending the chocolate for hours on end. So it becomes a very smooth product. By the way, on your tables you have smooth products, you also have a few cookies, that's different. The top quality training that most of the Belgian chocolatiers have, very, very important. Now, what you have there is called praline. And this is what everybody, when you're invited in Brussels and you go to Belgium and you go to France, you come with a little box of praline. Everybody likes that. And I think it would be interesting to know how that started. It started with Jean Neuhaus, and this is my second favorite chocolatier. He opened a pharmacy in 1857. This pharmacy still exists in Brussels. It's selling chocolate today, but it's still there. And he began his business by covering medication with chocolate, so that the patients would not feel terrible because the taste was awful. So he said, I have an idea. And he covered it. So he covered all the medicine with chocolate. With his son Frederick later on, he spent more time making that really, maybe we should really forget about the medication in there. Maybe we should do something really, really fun and good. And he invented the praline. Actually, I'm sorry, he didn't invent his praline. It's the son of his son, so his grandson, Jean II, who created the first chocolate-filled, which you have the praline. They are called bonbons somewhere else in the world, but they are not bonbons, they are pralines. And they were immediately very successful. So that became the start of the praline, but they were followed by another innovation, and if you go to Europe or to Belgium in particular, you're going to see that they are not in a bag, they are in a little golden box. And Madame Neuhaus, she invented that box, and today Neuhaus furnishes the king, the house of the king. I mean, they only eat Neuhaus praline. That's all they eat. You know, everywhere in Belgium you have who is the king's favorite, and Neuhaus is. Now I come to something very, no, it's not, it's a smaller one. Usually it's a little. Now, there is an art to eat chocolate. We cannot just eat the chocolate. It doesn't work. So I'm going to suggest that when you're home or when you travel or when you see Belgian chocolate, or I have to say maybe Swiss chocolate, but you know I'm very partial to Belgian chocolate. You get some different kinds. You need to have milk chocolate around you, dark chocolate, which is very good for your health, by the way. I didn't make a whole discussion about that because that's another hour, and white chocolate. And then don't forget to include dark chocolate, actually. First of all, it's good for your health, but it's very, very important to have and to know the difference in savor. And you can include different things, like you can see sometimes that they sea salt now with chocolate. Yeah, pepper enhances the chocolate. And our Marcolini that we saw at the beginning, that's why I love that store. If you go into that store in Brussels, you think you're in a museum of chocolate. And he does all kinds of combination with green tea, with ginger. Well, ginger is not so particular, but I mean pepper, anything you can imagine. And you have to eat with your eyes. Chocolate, I tell you, it's an art. You have to eat with your eyes. So you arrange them in a pleasant way in front of you, and so that you can see the progression from light to dark. And there's dark and dark and dark. They're not all dark the same way. You have to pay attention, very particularly attention, to the gloss of the chocolate, to the color of each piece. And this is very often a clue to how it's going to taste. My mother in particular, she was a specialist in chocolate, and she would line them up and she would know without reading any description, she would know this one has that inside, this one has that, because you know it, you just know it. And then, when you know that your perception is given to you by your eyes. So now I'm not finished with this. There are 4 essential elements: the look, the texture, the flavor, and the aroma. Step 1. Biting the chocolate. You have to bite the chocolate. You have to. And when there is a shell, like some of them do have them, it should crack. If it crumbles, it's not good. Step 2. Chewing the chocolate. You chew the chocolate. We didn't have time, but I have a lot of videos about that, how to eat the chocolate. And actually, Neuhaus, when you go to Neuhaus, they give you a little description. I unfortunately didn't have it with me, but it's that long in French. The temperature of the room, how you should sit, what you do. So you chew the chocolate a few times, then you push the chocolate to the top of your mouth. And then you let the melted chocolate, but I'm serious, I do that. You let the melted chocolate linger in your mouth and allow the flavors to come out. It's not finished, we have a step 3. The aftertaste. You swallow the chocolate and dwell on the flavors. And then the length is very, very crucial. Very crucial. Every chocolate has a different length. And it will help you to define the chocolate. The longer it is, the better it is. And a true connoisseur uses this to ensure the correct balance. It's like wine tasting. They will taste the different layers of the chocolate. That's about how to eat a chocolate. And yeah, I don't know if you have any questions. I'm going to get the next. Yes.
Sorry, one question. Do you have any chocolate tasting facilities anywhere in Ontario? Like wine tasting for chocolate?
We do that. It's a good question. You know, there is a chocolatier here. His name is Calabaut. And I think they do that, but they are based in Vancouver. And the Neuhaus chocolate in Toronto in particular is flown in twice a week in certain stores. I just come back from New York and it was flown in the same day because Neuhaus doesn't accept it any other way. They are very particular about the chocolate they serve. Now I'm going to go to a YouTube to show you something. No, it's not the end. I just don't remember how to do that. I have to write yes, and then go into it's gone. Yeah, I have another little YouTube video for you. It has disappeared. That was my fear. Maybe not. Wait. Maybe not. It's not. It's fine. Kevin, it's fine. So that, no, it's fine. I have it. Thank you. This here in front of you is the pharmacy of Mr. Neuhaus, which is still in Brussels and where we still buy the Neuhaus chocolate. And here we go. That's how to eat it. I'm saying the end, but before I do the end, I just want to go back to my first issue about, not issue or matter, about communication. I think this is really what we work very and we strive for. And I thank you for your patience in your wonderful company, because it's a pleasure to work with you. And I know that it's not always very easy. And we have a lot of demands. And quick, and it has to be done immediately, and it has to be done for tomorrow. Very quick. Yeah, I need it for tomorrow, please. Anyway, and then I hope it leaves you with a few ideas about chocolate. And if you visit Belgium, by all means, go and get them. Yes, and if you have any questions, I would be delighted to answer that.
It's not actually a question.
So go to the lights.
Okay, I will.
I know that if you can come to the mic.
I was thinking whether I'm going to be a little spoiler for this tremendous story. I really appreciate it. I enjoy it tremendously. I'm the biggest chocoholic in this world. I ate tons and tons of chocolates in my life, okay? And one day I watched a documentary film on BBC, and I'm a writer. I wrote poetry and short stories and essays, and I published books and so on. And I wrote a poem under the title, Why I Don't Eat Chocolate Anymore.
Oh,
I lied.
oh, okay. Then it's
That was a
okay.
short period of time. That was a short period of time. I still eat chocolate. That is my biggest weakness. I don't smoke. I don't drink alcohol. I'm a vegetarian. I don't use drugs, and I will stop what I don't do else. Okay. But the point is that in the documentary film about child slavery, okay, and one verse in my poem is that I will not eat chocolate until I read that that is child labor free. Slavery free, yes. Absolutely. Because in each drop of chocolate, in each square of chocolate, there is a drop of blood of a child in Africa working on a cocoa tree, cutting with the machete the tree, but cutting itself as well. So it was outrageous to see what's going on, and we have to have awareness. We have this tremendous pleasure. I have that tremendous also ritual of chewing, melting, and swallowing, and everything what you pass. I enjoy it. It is, I don't want to compare with certain
No, I understand.
It
It depends also on the maison of the chocolatier. A chocolatier, like the big chocolatier maison cannot afford to have children labor, and I don't think they
Slavery, because those are children like 6, 7, 5 years old.
I understand fully.
Yeah, but all around the world that I traveled, I visited. I've been in July in Barcelona. They have a museum of chocolates, you know, and in Paris and everywhere that I've been. So I adore chocolate, but I just as an activist and human rights activist, I wanted to raise awareness about the other side of the coin. Okay?
Do we have any other questions about translation or yes?
Sorry, the person. Sorry for my ignorance. The person who produces chocolate is chocolatier. How do you call the person who is a connoisseur of chocolate?
A connoisseur. The chocolatier is the one who makes it, who has une maison de chocolatier.
Is there any special word for connoisseur for chocolate, like for example for the wine?
Non, oui, donc c'est un connaisseur de chocolat. Un connaisseur de chocolat. Good question.
A person that tastes the chocolate, how a connoisseur? No.
It's a connoisseur qui a, on peut dire, un goûteur de chocolat, but usually the one who is going to do that will be the chocolatier. He will never, like Marcolini or Neuhaus, they will never leave their premises without them having tasted it very, very carefully.
I I would love to be a cook here.
But you know, it is an experience to go to this little square in Brussels because you have on one square about 8 or 9 chocolatiers, and they are all different. I have my favorites, but they are all different. They are all different. Yes.
Are we going to get this
With pleasure. With pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the chocolate. I think you owe everybody another round or another serving chocolate. Because just after one bite, I'm already addicted. No more comments. Thank you.
It is marketing, so you have to start paying for that.
I want to thank you on behalf of everybody here for the treats that you've given us. Yeah, I agree. Maybe we need another round to practice the 4 steps.
Maybe I should go to Belgium and bring you.
But I wanted to say that to some it might look like, well, what's the connection between this presentation and translation and interpretation? And I see it clearly, and it's all about passion.
Yeah.
The same passion that you have for chocolate in your background coming from Belgium is the same passion that I think we should have, and at least I have, for both translation and interpretation. And that's why when you asked us, what about excellence or perfection, which do you think? Both are important. Personally, I think as translators and interpreters, we need to have that passion to be perfect every single time. The same passion you have for chocolate, I hope we all have for translation and interpretation.
That exactly lands up why I did both. I'm known at work for having chocolate on my desk because it is exactly that. It's the passion, but it's also it has to be serious too.
I have a question. It's a comment. So for all of you, now that you've heard from a client's perspective, why sometimes we ask something to be delivered urgent or today or whatever, and you sometimes don't understand why we are asking. They have their own people pushing and asking for documents. So now I understand both sides. Like we are in between the client and the translator, and we're just the service provider. We're trying our best to give you time to work on documents. But sometimes we can't give you the time that you're asking us for, and it's not us, it's the client who already has people on top asking for the translations.
Thank you for that, Maria. One issue is certainly that, and what we are trying to do, I have changed the guidelines at CCO as well, is that it's sometimes a second thought. Oops, we forgot to ask that. That needs to be translated. And now that has changed. The culture has changed, where it needs to be strategically known at the beginning of any project. Yes, we need to work backwards and know how much time. We still have press releases and things like that where we have absolutely no time. And I really thank you for understanding that. And I'm sure that it's not easy from the translator's point of view when we say we have to do it and the timeline is that. It's not because we want to be difficult. It's because we just have to do it. Yeah.
It's pressure from everyone.
Yes.
Something needs to be delivered, a message needs to be delivered.
And we work under very high pressure, and that's fine. I like that. That's where the chocolate comes in. All right. Are there any more questions? Yes.
Hi, thank you very much. Actually, it's very, there was a connection for me with the translations. I wrote it down really while you were speaking. You were saying it's like to an aftertaste. So I was thinking, okay, I have my document. I bite into it. I look into what it is in the worldview. And then I look into chew. What do you chew? You chew, what is it? The syntax, the register, the grammar, the vocabulary. And that's what I looked at when you were speaking. I said, oh, this is a wonderful comparison. Aftertaste. Aftertaste. What's the overall? Did you do the translation right? What's the client's perspective? Who's the market? I guess I'm being sort of too much into the product translation. Yes, I just sort of like, oh my God, this is just right, and I agree with you. This excellence and perfection.
Thank you. I'm glad you see it that way. That's how I started.
Just one comment. No more talk. Just following your comments, I think it's good to taste, to bite, to choose a document, but at the end of the day, deliver. Do not find yourself, oh, the project is overdue, and then Marioga will be between topics again. Thank you.
Thank you so very, very much. Thank you.